Hey guys, welcome to the channel. Welcome back to the channel. This is Life in Denver. I'm Joe. This is my business partner, Monique. Today we're gonna be giving you guys all the things we wish you knew prior to moving to Denver, Colorado. There's some surprises in here, especially at the end you definitely don't wanna miss. So jumping into the first one for you guys though, it is just the dryness and the altitude impact on you when you first come here. Monique actually grew up here, so I feel like she maybe doesn't feel it as much. I grew up in the Northeast, so I grew up at sea level obviously, and then moved out here later in life. And man, it is a big difference, let me tell you. First of all, from a dryness standpoint, that's got pros and cons to it. It's kind of nice in a sense that with that dryness, when it is a hot day here, it's not super humid, as well as come those nice summer nights, you're not catching nearly as many mosquitoes. I remember growing up, we had like the mosquito magnets, those tiki torches, we had everything under the sun, and we were still getting chewed alive. Versus out here, you can actually sit outside without needing like a screen-in porch, you can read a book, just enjoy those nice cool summer nights and not get bit by mosquitoes 24/7. So that I almost look like as a win, as a pro for me. However, you do need more water, more lotion, all that stuff, just, you know, chapstick, all that fun stuff when it comes to the dryness side. The altitude though, the altitude hits hard. The altitude, I'll say for me, like I'm someone who's very into fitness, like I work out regularly. I felt it enormously. Like I was thinking to myself, oh, I'll go out, I'll hit, you know, X hike, it'll be totally fine. No. Come out and take it easy on yourself. Maybe do like a 3 or 4 mile hike. I got a little bit ambitious. I tried doing like an 8-mile hike on like a weekend I came to visit before finally moving out here. Oh my God, I was laid up on the couch for like 2 hours afterwards. Cooked, sunburn, out of breath. That one hit the ego a little bit, I can't lie.
I'm glad you touched on the point that I wanted to bring up too.
Yes.
One of the cool things that you should know, I've been here all my life, so one of the things too that you should know is the proximity to the sun, in the sense of you are higher in elevation, so the sun, necessarily the rays are going to be a little bit stronger. If you do have really sensitive skin, you know, please wear sunblock. Even if you don't have sensitive skin, make sure you are using the sunblock, especially too if you're going up in the mountains and you're going up into the high country. Even if you are, you know, skiing or snowboarding, the sun really reflects on the snow, and a lot of people may think, hey, like I'm good, it's snowing, the sun's out, I'll be okay. The reflection really does get you, so definitely some serious sunburns there. Also, if you are out enjoying, you know, the lake and enjoying the water activities offered at Chatfield or other lakes within the Denver metro area, you wanna also make sure you put on sunblock there, because like a mirror, again, the sun does reflect right off of the water. So definitely something worth calling out in terms of making sure you're protecting your skin and protecting your little one's skin too. If you are out and about, water activities, skiing, snowboarding, whatever the case may be, make sure you bring your sunblock.
Yeah, not everyone's got the bronze goddess skin over here like Monique. For us pale people like myself, I will warn you, especially come the wintertime, that was a bad surprise for me. That goggles tan, that's not it. That's not the look you want. So definitely come the ski, snowboard trips, all that fun stuff, lotion up, sunblock up, make sure you take care of that skin, because man, did I learn the hard way when I first got out here. All right guys, next thing to give to you guys, again, just coming from an outsider's perspective, coming from that Northeast background as a kid, you know, the season changes back there. We are a 4-season state here. However, back home, the seasons just tend to last a little bit longer, especially like the transition season, so spring and fall, for example. Out here, you tend to get maybe 4 or 5 weeks at most come fall time, between when you're ending off summer, going into wintertime. It goes quick, and it's super pretty for sure. It's really cool too out here in the sense of like you get all golden colors. Back home, you get a variety. This is like, it's very cool though, because you go up to like an Aspen, a Crested Butte, etc. You just see like layers of hills and mountains just covered in these golden trees, but it's brief. So you got to make sure you take the time to get out there when you can, because before you know it, from spring, from summer, whatever it may be, you're getting right back into winter, and it just snaps like that. So it's very interesting in the sense of coming from where you used to get 2-3 months almost per season. This is quick, this is like a month. So just change of pace, something to consider, because we can get snow here all the way up until even like end of May, I've seen, going into then summer being June, obviously. So it's a very quick transition for you guys.
And one of the things too that Joe did mention was, you know, the fall changes that happen with the trees. We all have seen the fall foliage that occurs within the Denver metro, but a lot of people like to go up to the mountains to see that. So we recently went up to Snowmass, and the traffic. One of the biggest things too, if you are going to the mountains, to pay attention to is the traffic. Whether you're going to see the season, you know, the changing of the foliage of the leaves, or if you're going for snowboarding, skiing, or you're just going on a mountain getaway, on the weekends, you will hit that traffic.
Yeah, that is year round.
That is year round, especially if you're heading out on a Friday afternoon, or if you're heading out, you know, even Friday in the mornings, you do definitely see the traffic. You know, an hour-and-a-half commute can easily turn into 3 hours. So definitely something you do want to take into account if you are thinking about heading up to the high country. And one of the things too, make sure that you are, you know, prepared that you did make, your restroom breaks, that you got all your snacks, the kids have their iPads, because it is, it can get you in the sense of you are stuck in a specific area of the mountain where you don't have access to public facilities. So you want to make sure you are prepared, because that is one thing that definitely can occur.
Yeah, definitely. Great call out by Monique on that piece. And especially come wintertime too, that the real main connection into the mountains is I-70. And like she said, if you get jammed up on there, it can be hours a lot of the time, because if you get one accident, especially come the snow or whatever it is, just a big storm that's kind of blocking traffic, you can get jammed up there for quite a while. So just something to plan according for. If you can maybe leave on like a Thursday instead of a Friday, that helps a ton in terms of traffic, just because most people will go up either like early Friday morning, they might take Friday off, come back Sunday night. Both of those are super, super painful times to be traveling to and from the mountain. So like anything else, like when we talk about shopping, even back in Castle Rock at the outlets, right? Try and just time it in the off times. You'll have a much better experience. All right, so 2 more things for you guys here. Things that I actually kind of luckily just fell into, but things I definitely wish I knew before moving out here, because I would have considered it more heavily, is when it comes to just snow out here, come wintertime, getting it off your driveway and all that. One big win is if you can get a south-facing house, your driveway is going to catch a ton of sun, and we do get a ton of sun out here as we're talking. So that'll actually help melt most of the snow for you before you really have to shovel most of it. And the other thing that's really cool too is that I, again, just kind of luckily fell into, a lot of the newer build communities out here will actually offer snow removal as part of their HOA fees. So I know not everyone loves HOAs, whatever, they're pretty popular out here, and they actually do bring a lot of benefit a lot of the time, like snow removal. So it's really nice when you get, a foot of snow and you see that plow the next morning taking care of business. You can just sit there and enjoy your coffee inside, not have to worry about that headache. So really a big win if you can get both of those 2 things in your favor. And again, we'll make sure to look out for those things for you guys.
And now Joe doesn't like to go out in the early morning and shovel snow. He can be caught up on his couch drinking coffee. So great. Thanks for the little insight.
However,
routine.
One little reminder, we are licensed realtors out here in the state of Colorado. So these are the things we'll look out for you guys for, whether it's a south-facing driveway, whether it's, snow removal in your community. These are the big wins. So any questions you guys have, anything in specific you're looking for, that number popping up down below. We're the ones who answer the phone calls, text messages, all that stuff ourselves. So we'd love to hear from you. But go ahead, Monique, let you get back into it.
There we go. With that being said, I do want to touch upon the fact about the sun and the snow and the weather in terms of what that means for you, right? So one of the biggest things too that I've heard from a lot of clients is they'll come look at houses, and then they'll go in and they'll, expect the weather to be super cold, whatever the case may be, and the sun's out and it's snowing, and it could actually be really nice out. So depending on, the time of the year, depending when you're out here, walking around, going to local parks or checking out homes, definitely want to make sure you're checking the weather, making sure that you are well dressed. A lot of times you can also find that it's super sunny out, but it's also really cold. And so sometimes people dress in shorts and like little shirts, and then they go out and oh my God, yes. And it's like, it's really cold. And I'm like, yes, we are in, December. It does look like it's sunny out, but believe me, it is cold. And so that's definitely something that does happen because it is one of the sunniest states in the US. I would definitely tell you that people sometimes do get the misconception of the fact that, hey, it is sunny out, it's going to be warm, I'm seeing the snow melt, and then they step out and it is a little chillier than expected. So definitely something worth calling out.
Yeah, quick tip for you guys in terms of that too, because that is a great call out. It actually tends to be like throughout the day too, it changes quite a bit. So bring like a light jacket come the morning time when it is at 30, 40 degrees still, because come midday, a lot of the time in winter, we do still catch 60, 70 degree days. So as Monique's calling out, that sun is strong. So maybe it's a little cool in the morning, but a lot of the time, like I'll catch myself by like, noon, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, whatever it is, I'm dropping the jacket, I'm in a t-shirt, and it could be December. So it is a pleasant winter. Not to say it's mild, like we do get a lot of snow, but you do get those warm days to really break it up. And it's not just 6 months of just gray skies and misery like some of these other areas you find in the US. So really not a bad winter overall by any means.
All right, guys, and one of the things that I do want to call out is the availability of water activities. A lot of times clients can come in from out of town and they're visiting Denver and they're surprised at the amount of options in terms of water activities. A lot of times there's a conception about Denver being landlocked in the sense of we are in the middle of the US, right? Yes, duh. Don't need a compass for that one. Thanks, Joe. But there are a lot of water activities to do within the Denver metro, as well as the high country. Up in the mountains, you could definitely do the hot springs. You can also do whitewater rafting throughout various different companies that offer activities. You don't have to go out and buy the raft yourself. There's a lot of different tour groups located out throughout, the mountain towns that you could definitely visit. And one of the cool things too about Denver is we do have, you have Chatfield State Park. You also have Cherry Creek Reservoir, a lot of local, lakes where you can go out and boat or, hang out in kayaks. So definitely options in terms of water activities that you can do in the Denver metro area.
Yeah, definitely. So I agree with Monique on all of those points. There's just a ton of fun stuff to do. And also just like, you don't need like a full-on boat. A lot of people, obviously, they have the ability to go buy a boat and all that fun stuff, but Rafts are very common out here too. We got one for this past summer. We jumped on Amazon. It was like $200. And you can get like a big blow up raft. It's like, 6 to 8 people. It's got a little spot for a cooler in the center. So plenty of fun stuff to do. You can do paddle boarding. You can do whatever. Like, don't feel like you need a boat to go enjoy the water out here or to whitewater raft. Ton of fun stuff. She was calling out hot springs up in the mountains too. Those are great come winter time. So a lot of fun just water activities, even though we don't necessarily have beaches. A lot of stuff to offer just across the board on other items as well. And one more thing to call out for you guys too, just in terms of like a surprise, I guess you could say I caught when I first moved out here, was we do get hail out here, especially in those pivot transition seasons. So although they're short, you will sometimes catch hail, and it comes out of nowhere, because I was just at washing my car one day, middle of June, all of a sudden I'm like, oh, it's, a little dark, clouds overhead, no big deal, must be rain coming in. Went from like casual raindrops to like gigantic pieces of hail pelting my windshield and cracking it across the middle. So just get some full glass coverage on your auto insurance policy to be all set. But that is just a little surprise. A lot of people first come out here, they don't realize we do get hail. So that is something just to look out for in terms of your auto insurance, your homeowner's insurance. Again, things we'll make sure we look out for with you guys, but just something to call out for you as well.
Guys, one of the last things too that I want to touch on is, depending on where you live within the Denver metro, if you decide to live on the east side of the Denver metro area, the feel, the neighborhood, even the weather can be dramatically different than if you live on the west side of the Denver metro area. Me, as Joe has mentioned before, I do live in Aurora, which is like the eastern side of Denver. Definitely see a lot more wind in terms of, when we are getting the rain or getting, changes in weather. We definitely experience higher, I feel like they're stronger winds. And then we also do get a lot of hail. So we do see a lot of hail, particularly in Aurora. And then West Denver, I'm going to let Joe talk about that, since he does live in the western side of Denver and closer to, the Front Range, because it's also vastly different in terms of weather.
I think it's a great way to put it though. So yeah, the east side of the city is going to see just heavier impact on the wind side. The western slopes is going to be like if you're pushed right against the foothills, call it, whether it's Littleton, parts of Lakewood on the west side, Golden, whatever it may be, right? You're just going to see higher snow accumulation and a little bit less sun. So Denver is known for having, 300 plus days of sunshine. Littleton, some of these suburbs on the west side see like 250 to 260. Still a ton of sun relative to the rest of the country, but just a little bit more kind of, I guess you could say, adverse weather, whether it's a little more snow, a little more rain. We do catch a little bit more of that on the western side. But big benefit is you're pushed up right against the foothills. So like we mentioned, that east side does have a lot of pros, whether it's the cost of living, whether it's, the big reservoirs they have out there, but your views of the mountains are views. You're not really in the mountains versus like that western slope, or whether it's down in Castle Rock we mention all the time. Some of these other areas are just gonna feel vastly different. So something worth calling out, depending on what it is you're looking for, depending on what you guys like in your own style, something for everybody.
Guys, and as much as Joe and I do love making these videos for you, we would absolutely love to help with any real estate needs you may have. Please feel free to contact us at the information showing on your screen. We are the ones that answer those calls, texts, emails, whatever the case may be. We would love to help you, and we hope to see you on the next one.
Thanks so much for watching, guys. Catch you in the next one.